Melissa Armo, founder and owner of the stock Swoosh, for insight on the week that's been and the increased volatility that we've had this week. Let's start out exactly with that, Melissa. What's your take on the increased volatility that we had this week? There was talk that we'd see some of that this month, especially given that September showed up differently. What's your view or assessment?
Well, the last week, to me, we've been in the range of the sell-off, which was exactly 1 week ago on Friday. So I really was not surprised that we didn't get out of this range this week. The market is trying to digest, to make up its mind what its next move is. But remember, 1 week ago, we made brand new all-time highs. And then we had the largest sell-off that we've had the entire year in one single day a week ago. You can't ignore that. The market has been rallying and running up ever since the tariff reprieve in April. And if people have been going long and buying every dip, they've basically been up. I mean, the market has made multiple brand new all-time highs most of the year. I personally was shocked how many brand new all-time highs we had, considering the fact that a lot of the issues with the tariffs, mainly our biggest trading partner, China, have not been resolved. So there's a lot of things that are going on right now. One thing is earnings season, which is happening right now. And we've had some of the largest banks that reported this week, and many of those earnings were lackluster in how the stock reacted and traded. If you look at JPM, if you look at Wells Fargo, if you look at Citi, a lot of these banks, Morgan Stanley, really have fallen since the earnings. So that doesn't really leave me optimistic for the market to continue and make another high anytime soon. It's not that we are going to fall harder. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but I think it's going to be very difficult for the market to get back up over that area from 1 week ago, just like that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay. I hear what you're saying about just like that. So in other words, is the take that you expect the volatility to continue this month? Okay, all right, so I can see that. But again, the last quarter of the year is often more, you often see more bullish activity in the last quarter of the year. Expecting that pattern to be the same this year? Or the last couple of months, I should say.
It's really going to depend on earnings. It's going to depend on several things. One, earnings season. Because remember, the overall market, the QQQs and the SPY are made up of stocks and companies. So it's going to depend on earnings season. Again, we're through the beginning part of it with the banks. We have Tesla coming out. In the next 2 weeks, we have Apple, we have Amazon, we have Microsoft, Netflix is next week. All of these stocks are going to actually affect the overall market. And many of them the market will react how these stocks move. For example, if Netflix is down big next week, I forget if it's Tuesday night or Wednesday night, I think it's Wednesday night is Netflix, then the market will most likely be down then as well. But so there's earnings. That's number one. Number two, the Fed. The government shut down. The Fed has not seen unemployment numbers. We haven't been getting information. The government is still shut down. The Fed has a dual mandate to try to keep unemployment low, and then also they're trying to bring inflation down, which maybe it's ticked down since 2020, but to be honest with you, I still think inflation is too high. They're saying they're going to try to get to that 2% target. They've been saying that forever. It's probably going to be more like 3%. So are they going to cut rates 2 more times this year? I'm not even sure if the Fed has made up its mind because I don't have the data because of the government shutdown. So that's number two. And then number three, of course, is the issue that's happening with China and the tariff deal. I don't think the volatility with that is done. And again, sometimes President Trump tweets and the market sells off. Sometimes President Trump tweets and the market rallies. I think people need to really look at a chart, read the price action in chart. And for me particularly, I focus on gaps when stocks are gapping. And so if people are trying to make news-based decisions, then it's going to be a very difficult market to trade in because you could see good earnings and a stock fall. You could see bad earnings and a stock rally. And you could be one direction in the morning on a tweet and the opposite direction later in the afternoon in another tweet. So that will drive you crazy. You have to take a position and you have to believe in the position based on reading what's happening with the technicals.
Okay, so what do you believe in?
Well, I think personally that the market is not done selling off. I think we have had a tremendous rally. I think we have a long way to go down, and then maybe we sell off and have a Christmas rally like we have. Maybe we do have a bullish close to the year like you're stating, but towards the end of the year, in December, after we're through the biggest, heaviest part of this, after we're through another rate cut or two, after we're through a deal with China. If we don't make a deal with China this year with tariffs and it gets pushed off into 2026, that's not giving investors the warm snugglies to make any decisions about what to do with their money going into next year. People want some decisions. They want to know what's happening, good, bad, or whatever the case may be. People want to be able to make decisions. A lot of companies have actually raised their prices because of these tariffs. I mean, again, it's not across the board, but I do think a lot of these prices and the increases in the tariffs have been passed off to consumers.
I want to ask you really quickly, Melissa, about your thought on Amazon, because compared to the rest of the Mag 7, it's been an underperformer, and I know you've been across this one. What's your take?
Again, watching it in earnings, but I think it's lower. It was selling off today, even ahead of the market. It's been selling off the last week. It looks like it wants to break that 210 area. I wouldn't even be surprised if this falls all the way down to 205, 200. This could be a nice short-term short, whether people want to short it or do a swing trade or a put in it. Again, when you look at the overall chart there compared to some of the other stocks that are out there, it looks like it has a bigger move to the downside. Now, again, that's another one. Why is it selling off? Is that getting pressure because so many goods and things are coming from China? Could be. Could be. So again, you have to look at the companies that are affected, like Apple's another one. Apple earnings are coming out the next 2 weeks. Got to watch that one too. Again, what's going to happen to iPhone sales and what's going to happen with the tariffs? All of these things are tied together. We're so tied together now with every other country in a 24/7 hour news cycle. And of course, these are our big trading partners. And people want to make sure that they're going to get the biggest bang for their buck when they're investing in stocks. And if you said to me, I'm new, Melissa, I want to buy stocks, should I go long here, anything at all, I'd say no, wait, prices still could be lower. How much lower? I don't know. But again, look at what happened a week ago. If you bought at the lows last Friday, or even in the post-market Friday night, you actually are up here now today. So don't think that we can't go lower. In fact, this morning, the futures were down huge this morning, huge. Yeah, we were down, way down this morning.
Yeah, but they certainly came back. As you mentioned, you talk about different tweets and things that can happen off of some commentary from President Trump. But Melissa, we'll have to leave our conversation there for a time. That's Melissa Armo, founder and owner of the stock Swoosh.